fabled heat, where magic meets desire. Subscribe to ignite the fantasy.
I awaken to the acrid stench of smoke and the metallic tang of blood. My head throbs as I try to piece together the fragments of memory. The last thing I recall is walking through the forest, gathering herbs for my healing work. Then, darkness. Blinking against the dim light, I realize I'm lying on a stone altar in what appears to be an ancient temple. My wrists and ankles are bound with rough rope. Fear grips my heart as I take in the scene around me, robed figures chanting in an unfamiliar tongue, their faces obscured by hoods. As my eyes adjust, I see the high priest approach, a wicked-looking dagger glinting in his hand. He raises the blade high, his voice booming as he calls out to some forgotten deity. The knife begins its descent toward my chest, and I scream. Can you not take an innocent child's life to summon me? I made that clear many generations ago, and yet you never seem to learn. The voice cuts through the air like a whip, dripping with divine annoyance. I watch in awe as a figure materializes above the altar, a woman of breathtaking beauty, her skin glowing with an otherworldly light. The priests cower before her wrath. You dare to invoke my name for such a vile purpose. I am the goddess of life, not death. Release this woman at once or face my eternal displeasure. The high priest trembles, quickly sawing through my bonds with a trembling hand. As soon as I'm free, the goddess turns her piercing gaze upon me. Come, child, you have nothing to fear now. I scramble off the altar, my legs unsteady. The goddess extends a hand and I take it, marveling at her warmth. She leads me away from the stunned priests, out into the cool night air. I am Selene, though you may call me what you wish, she says, her voice now gentle. Tell me, what is your name and how came you to be in such dire straits? I am Lyra, I manage, still reeling. I was gathering herbs when I was attacked and brought here. I don't know why they chose me. Selene's eyes flash with anger. They sought a pure sacrifice to renew their waning power. It seems my edicts have been forgotten in the mists of time. As we walk through the forest, I find myself drawn to this divine being. There's a magnetic pull, an inexplicable connection that makes my skin tingle in her presence. I shake off the feeling, she's a goddess, I'm merely mortal. What could she possibly want with me? We arrive at a shimmering pool, and Selene gestures for me to sit beside her on the mossy bank. As I settle down, she studies me intently. You have a rare gift, Lyra. I can sense the healing magic within you. It sings to my own divine essence. I blush at her words, unused to such praise. It's nothing special, really, just a knack for mixing salves and tending to the sick. On the contrary, it is quite special. I would have you as my handmaiden, to learn the true extent of your abilities under my tutelage. My jaw drops in shock. Me, serve a goddess, I'm not worthy. Selene laughs, a sound like crystal chimes. Oh, but you are, more than you know. Besides, it would mean freedom from the mundane world and the chance to unlock your full potential. I consider her offer, my heart racing. The prospect of learning from a goddess is beyond anything I could have imagined, and there's something about Selene that calls to me on a primal level. Before I can second-guess myself, I nod. I accept your offer, Selene. I am honored to serve you. Her smile could light up the night sky. Excellent, then let us begin your training at once. First, we must cleanse you of the priest's foul intentions. She leads me into the pool, the water warm as a bath despite the cool air. As she begins to wash my skin with water cupped in her divine hands, I feel a tingling sensation spread through my body. It's as if her very touch is awakening something deep within me. Selene's hands roam over my shoulders, my back, my arms, each caress sending sparks across my skin. I've never been touched so intimately, and my body responds in ways I don't fully understand. A flush creeps up my neck as her fingers trail lower, skimming the sides of my breasts. I can feel the darkness they tried to place upon you, she murmurs, her breath hot against my ear. But I will draw it out and replace it with my own light. Her hands slip around to my front, cupping my breasts now. I gasp at the sensation, my nipples hardening under her palms. Selene chuckles softly. SHH, little one, just relax and let me work. She rolls my nipples between her fingers, sending jolts of pleasure straight to my core. I squirm in her embrace, overwhelmed by the new feelings coursing through me. Selene's hands continue their exploration, skimming over my stomach and hips before dipping between my thighs. I cry out as her fingers find my most sensitive spot, stroking and teasing until I'm writhing in her arms. The water churns around us as my hips buck involuntarily, seeking more of her touch. Selene laughs again, a wicked sound that makes me burn with need. So responsive, she purrs. I'm going to enjoy breaking you in. She slips a finger inside me and I nearly come undone. It's a foreign sensation, but not an unpleasant one. Selene pumps her finger slowly, building a delicious pressure low in my belly. I rock against her hand, panting with need. More, I whimper without thinking. Please, I need. Patience, sweet Lyra, Selene admonishes, even as she adds another finger. The stretch burns in the most exquisite way, and I moan shamelessly. The water ripples around us, reflecting the moonlight and the intensity of our encounter. Selene's touch is both gentle and demanding, awakening a desire I never knew I possessed. I am lost in the sensation, surrendering to the goddess's power and the intoxicating pleasure she offers. My body aches with longing, and I find myself reaching for her, desperate for more. Selene's laughter is a melody that fills the night, a promise of the delights to come. This is no longer a rescue, it is a transformation, a descent into a world of divine ecstasy. The forest holds its breath, witnessing the birth of a new connection, a forbidden love between a goddess and her handmaiden. The cool night air seems to hum with energy, charged with the raw power of our awakening desires. I am Lyra, and I am irrevocably changed.